Greetings. My name is Mafuleni Uchiyama. I am the director of the Center for International Dance, and I am a descendant of the Yoruba, Ashanti, Wolof, Mandika, and Salagi peoples. I come to you from the land of the Chichenyo, also known as Oakland, California, where my mountain is Tamalpais and my waterway is Salsal Creek. I hold performance traditions of Hawaii, Tahiti, West Africa, and Zimbabwe. Welcome to Dare, Conversations in the Diaspora. Dare is a production of the African American Mbira Project, an initiative to perpetuate the music and tradition of the Mbira within the African American community. With Dare, we aspire to explore the music of Zimbabwe and other performance traditions which exist in the diaspora. Our conversations with artists will focus on their art form and their personal journey. Jacob Mafuleni is a well-known, award-winning musician, dancer, instrument maker, and teacher. Among his many talents as a musician, he plays mbira, njari, marimba, ngoma, and guitar. He taught music and dance at the College of Music in Harare, Zimbabwe in the 90s, and has since toured South Africa, Malawi, the United States, Canada, China, Malaysia, Germany, Switzerland, and France in performance with many renowned bands and dance troupes. He is currently affiliated with the Tsoro Arts and Social Center, where he constructs mbira, marimba, and ngoma. I am delighted to welcome Jacob Mafuleni.
Thank you very much, Mafuleni Uchiyama. I feel very honored to be in this program, Tatenda. And hello, everyone who is watching.
The honor is ours. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I'd like to go ahead and start by asking if you could share your thoughts with our viewers, for those who may not be familiar with what is mbira, as to what is mbira.
Thank you. So mbira is our traditional instrument, which is made of wood and metal keys. We use our two thumbs and the index finger to plunk the notes. So this mbira I'm holding is called nare or zavadzimu. In this type, we also have different types of tunings of the same mbira. There is a lot of tunings. Here in Zimbabwe, we have a lot of types, different types of mbiras. Myself, I only know 5 of them. Out of those 5, I only plays 3 of them. So the other type here is called njari. It looks like this. So this is the type of njari, which was played by the late icon Simon Mashoko. Used to play this type of njari. And then we have another type of njari, which is this one. This is from Makonde area there, going north. They are both njaris, but you can see the differences, the numbers of the keys and the way they are lined up. You can see this has 2 levels of keys, and then this has 3, like this side bass, and then you go up, and so 3 layers. And we have another type called Nyunga Nyunga. Nyunga Nyunga originally is from Mozambique. This is Nyunga Nyunga. It looks like this. And then this, you use 2 thumbs and 2 index fingers, both ends. And then there is this one is called Zavandau from Manicaland. Chimani Mani there. That's where we find this type of mbira, Zavandau. And then there is another type called Matepe Oroyera. That is from Mutoko and border Mozambique and Zimbabwe. That's where people, you can find Hera or Matepe. Birawuru, that's the name. So yeah, that's mbira.
So I'm hoping that people are able to start to appreciate the diversity of mbira that can be found just even, in the region of Zimbabwe that you are in, and that they each have very different forms, different numbers of keys, different configurations of keys, and would therefore require different ways of playing them. Like knowing how to play one doesn't necessarily mean you know how to play every kind of mbira.
Yes,
which is really, really impressive that you could play three. And even within like the Nimbira Javatsimu, just thinking about this, that one form of mbira, that there's the kind of songs that you would play. There's a way that instrument exists if you're, in a band and you're playing in a restaurant and, for fun. And then there's another way that same instrument is regarded and treated and played if you're in ceremony. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about that, please.
Oh, yes, sure. Yes, the same mbira, you can play it on stage, performing, entertaining people. You can fuse the music, the mbira music, with other Western instruments such as guitars, violin, keyboard, piano, everything. That's for entertainment. And then the other side of that mbira, it's when it played for ceremonies. It's now different. When playing for ceremony, there is certain songs which you have to play for the ceremonies. For example, we have a water spirits, manjuzu. So on water spirits ceremony, that's where people play songs like Chigwaya, and then we have other songs for rain making, and we also have some songs, some deep songs, which are played for when somebody's get possessed and then he's now talking to the family members or talking to the people. There are certain songs, those who are deep, they played as background music. You play those songs as background music whilst the spirit is talking to people. So yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah, and it just all depends on the type of ceremony and a lot of things that may or may not be what those of us from the West would know. Just looking at the tradition, from the outside, it's a lot deeper than it might appear at first. It's not just about learning how to play, but knowing what to play and when and what situation is appropriate for certain kinds of songs and certain kinds of uses of the instrument as well. Can you tell us a little bit about how you started?
I started to learn jari. That's the one I started to learn and play. This one. You find out even up to date, few people can play this type of mbira. So for me, I was at a college of music doing dance there. So we were there for rehearsals, and then I had mbira play. And then I had to follow where the sound is coming from. Then when I get there, I saw this old man sitting on a chair, and then there is these two other gentlemen standing at his back and then watching the thumbs. And that was Efatum Juru and Sekuru Gora. When I get there, I just get there and then stood and listened to the mbira. Then after that old man plays the song, he was done. And then I said, oh, Sekuru, you played Njari really nice. You were sounding so good. And then he looked at me like, how come you know this type of mbira? How did you know that this is Njari? And then I had to explain, because I was in a group called Botswana Dance Troupe, which was led by David Gweshe. So David Gweshe was a mbira player. He was the one who plays this type of Njari or Munyonga. But he had to improvise and put a lot of notes. It had 59 notes. It was really huge mbira. Even for him to play it, you could put, those bells to hold it and play. So growing up with him, going to shows, because wherever we went to shows, we were dancers. But of course, we played marimba in that group. For the mbira, he could just play his mbira, few songs alone. So by hearing all those songs over and over again, it stuck in my head. So with this old man, I asked him to play one song, to try and play, in fact, because I couldn't play that mbira. Then he said, okay, you can try. He handed the mbira over to me, and then I had to find notes, thinking of David Gweshe's songs. And then I came up with something simple, and he was happy about it, like, because there's few people who can play this type of mbira. And then I had to explain to him, like, okay, I'm one of the members of Botswana Dance Troupe, Gweshe's band. He was happy about it. And then I asked, how can I get one? He told me that this one I'm playing, I was going to sell it to Efatum Juru. But since I saw your hand and you play, I think this one has to go to you. I have to sell it to you. And then because I make mbiras, when I go back home, to my rural home, I will make another one and then bring it for Efat. And he told me, what I need is just bus fare for me to go to my rural home from Harare to Makonde. And I paid that bus fare. I remember that was $3.50. Then I paid that bus fare, paid the money, and then he gave me the mbira. And we went for our dance rehearsals. After our rehearsal, as I was going home, I see that old man still standing by the gate. Then I said, oh, Sekuru, you are still around. He said, oh, yes, sir, but I'm about to leave. And then I said, where are you living here in Harare? Where are you living? Where are you staying? And then he said, I'm in Kwazana. In that area, Kwazana, with my place, I'm in Dzivarasekwa. It's close. It's a walking distance. And then I told him, I live in Dzivarasekwa. It's a walking distance. So let's go together. And then instead, we bought a bus going to Dzivarasekwa together. Then when we get to my place, we sat down and then he taught me another song. He taught me a simple song. And I got it, and he said, oh, you're fast. You're a fast learner. He gave me another song, and then I got it, and he said, oh, it's enough for today. And I had to take him halfway, walk with him. The next day, he came to my place, and, even introduced him to my parents. And I remember my parents were like, how come you are saying this is a friend, this old man? Like, oh, yes, yeah, he's my friend. When he went back to Makonde, for sure, he came back again. He brought the mbira, he gave it to Everett, and I met with him, he taught me other songs, and then he went back to his rural home. After some few weeks, I was like, I have to see that old man. So in Kwazana, he was staying with his uncle. So I had to go to Kwazana, trying to find out if he's there or if he's at rural home, so that they can direct me how I can get to the rural home. And then I had a sad story. The uncle told me that that old man passed away. And that was really, really, I was so sad with that story. Of course, I had the Njari, and then now I could play David Gracious music, listen to it, and learn it. Listen and learn it. That's how I learned how to play Mbiras Njari. But for the Nare, we end up playing with a band called Ramambo Marimba Band. We were resident band at this lodge called Ramambo Lodge and Restaurant. So every night we could play music there. So the chef of the restaurant, he saw me holding my njari, and then he said, "Do you know that I play mbira?" And I said, "You can try this." And he said, "No, not this type, but the other type, which is a whole, he was explaining, that was nare." So I had to find nare and then take it to my workplace. And then I said, "Oh, this is the mbira you were talking about." And he said, "Yeah, that's the one I play." And I said, "Can you try it?" And then he just grabbed it and then play a song really nice. And I said, "Oh, so you can teach me?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't teach you because I am now a Christian. You are not allowed to touch mbira." And I had to beg him until he taught me a few songs. Of course, I learned other songs by meeting with other Gwenyambiras. You play, you chat, and then you learn. That's how I learned how to play these mbiras.
So it's really fascinating to me. When I think about Zimbabwe, I think about Mbira. When I think about Mbira, I think about Zimbabwe. In my mind, it's hard to separate the two. And I understand, I believe that the Mbira is such a central part of Zimbabwean identity, and has been for so long, that there must have been some kind of something happened in history to have gotten it to the point where so many people are saying, "I can't play this instrument because of a different religious affiliation." Like what happened, so that made the Mbira sort of an untouchable thing, or to be considered something other than central to Zimbabwean identity?
Yeah, long back when the missionaries came to Zimbabwe, what they did is to make sure that they cue this instrument and the beliefs of Black Zimbabweans, the belief of the Mbira. They would say Mbira is evil. So a lot of people, they had to, to start going to church. They started to hate their instrument, their culture. So that's what happened. But nowadays, we can see a lot of people that are now getting back. They are now understanding that, no, this is our instrument. This instrument is very important. We can see now even those gospel artists, they are now fusing their gospel, playing beer and sing gospel. Now it's starting to it's now getting back there. So yeah, we are happy about it.
That's really good. That's really good. And you have traveled so many places, both within the African continent and in the West, playing marimba, njari, ngoma, mbira, dancing. you've had a chance to interact with people from all over the world and to present Shona music and culture to fans of these forms. Is there anything that you have observed that about how the music is received, how people appreciate it outside of Zimbabwe that might be, different than how it would be perceived within Zimbabwe?
Yes, sure. Yeah. During my traveling, that's what made me think of opening an art center
Mm.
to pass it on, to give back to the community. Because especially when I traveled to our first tour to the United States, that was 2008. We were surprised when we were surprised. We were seven of us, and then we went to perform. We told that we were given that itinerary, and then we know that we're gonna perform at Zimfest, and then we could read these names of different bands, right? Sadza Marimba Band is going to perform. Kutandara is going to perform. Rubatano, all those names.
Mm.
And then we were like, oh, this is going to be an interesting festival. It's going to be fun, right? Because we didn't know that other Zimbabweans are here. And these names, we don't know them in Zimbabwe. But it's good. We are going to meet, other Zimbabweans here. And then when we went to the show, where was Kutandara was playing, and then we said, "Oh, guys, let's go and watch Kutandara. We wanna meet those guys." And then when we get there, looking at the stage there, we saw the marimbas, nice marimbas lined up. And then the band was introduced, and then we were like, "Oh, what's that? Kutandara?" And it's all white folks. So we're like, and then they played this Zimbabwean music really nice. And, we talked about it with the band, like, wow, so those guys are doing good and they perform really well. I can say all those bands who performed at Zimfest, all of them were good. And we thought those names, those are Zimbabweans, are invited as our band. We traveled as Maungira. And we thought those were Zimbabweans. So that made me again, when we came back to Zimbabwe, and then I was like, what I saw in the States, all those bands, I think this side, the music is dying. These instruments, otherwise our kids, they're going to learn it coming from this side of the world, coming from Europe. So we have to pass it on. We have to teach the community. So that made me start this thing of tsoro. I decided I had no money. What I did is, because I was a beer maker, marimba maker, I always like, if I make a sale on a beer, and then I'll take half of the payment and then go and buy wood. And then I built one tenor, and then these kids would come and share. All of them, they wanted to play the marimba. They'll come and share. Also, when I was in the States, I met Rob Mailer. He's a marimba maker. So I had a workshop with him. He was teaching me, other stuff on marimbas. And then he made me build a soprano, only the keys. And then after we make those keys, the soprano keys, he said, okay, you can take those ones. And then I brought that from USA because I really wanted the type of wood. It's paduk, it's loud, and yeah. So I took it back here, and then we made a frame here. So with that soprano, and then I made another tenor. But you see the kids of my community, they will come, there were a lot of them. All of them, they want to play, but the marimba is just 2 pieces. So yeah, they were encouraging me. Every time I make a sale, I'll take half of the payment and then go and buy wood. That's how I managed to build the full set of marimba and then start to, to teach these community kids. It was at a low profile until I decided, okay, no, we have to, to make a center. And then it's so hard we don't have money to go and buy land and build an art center. But, my family, we are all in music. My wife, my kids, we talk music, we sleep music, we eat music. So, they are very supportive. And we're like, no, you know what? For us to, to crack our head of where can we get money and start to build an art center and go and buy land so that we can build art center. It's so difficult. And then we had to tell our residential house, this house is an art center right now. They come here, all these kids in the community, they come here and learn music from this house.
It's so wonderful. It's so beautiful. I wonder, in closing, if you would be willing to share a song with us, please.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna play a song called Chapera.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. What a flow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mafuleni, thank you for participating in Dare Conversations in the Diaspora.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you to all who is watching. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Tatenda.
And thank you to you viewers for joining us today. And if you liked our program, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel to receive future notices of upcoming shows. If you'd like to support our efforts, please consider a donation to the Center for International Dance. In addition to what you're seeing on your screen right now, we have provided a link in the comments section where we'd love to hear your thoughts about our program or your own journey with reclaiming your cultural heritage, whatever that may be. Ndare, Conversations in the Diaspora, is a program of the Mahea Uchiyama Center for International Dance, a nonprofit organization dedicated to fostering cross-cultural understanding in our community through dance and music. And we will be back next month in conversation with author, drummer, and banjo player Baba Sule Wilson. Until then, be well, stay safe, and keep the music in your heart.